Here's a sneak peek of our episode.
I didn't have my first boyfriend until I was 24 years old. All of a sudden, I'm like flooded with hundreds of weirdos messaging me. And I was like,
it's
another really attractive man that we had been talking.
Oh, you had been talking.
I felt it in my body the third day that I met him, like, this is my husband. I had one more day with him, and he's like, would you want to move to Portugal?
What? And would you still see yourself living in Portugal if it wasn't for the relationship?
Welcome to From Lisbon with Love, a podcast about real stories of love, laughter, and life in Lisbon from women who have left it all behind.
The podcast where we share real stories about moving to Lisbon, starting over, and figuring life out along the way.
We talk love, dating, friendships, breakups, healing, growing, all of it.
Basically, the stuff we usually talk about over coffee or vino.
If you're thinking about moving abroad, already here, or just love honest conversations with heart, you're in the right place.
This is From Lisbon with Love. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Anna Sherina.
And I'm April Betts.
And this is From Lisbon
With
Love.
It's so cute.
Our standard intro. If you're watching the video, then you can already see that we're not alone, because today we have another special guest to bring in. Her name is Lexy. She's from the United States and she moved to Portugal for love. And today we're gonna listen to her very exciting story about her whole journey with coming here and everything. So
Yes,
welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. We're so excited to have you.
So happy to be here.
Thanks.
All right, let's get into it.
Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Lexy Davis. I'm a lover girl through and through. I teach women and guide women around love. It's what I'm so passionate about. Yeah, so I mentor around love, and then I am in love, and that's how I ended up in Portugal. And I am so excited to be here. But do you want me to share my whole story around?
Yeah, tell us exactly where you're from in the States and how you ended up in Portugal.
Okay, so I was born on a farm in New York when I was a little baby, and then I was in Seattle, Washington is where I grew up. I went to college in Arizona, and I studied abroad in New Zealand. And from there, I knew I didn't want to be in the United States. So as soon as college ended, I booked a one-way ticket to Australia, and I lived there for 2 years. And ever since, I've been a digital nomad for about 8 years now, and living all over the world and just having so much fun, backpack, and I don't know, it's just such a freeing lifestyle that we get to do this nowadays. So I'm really grateful. And then I've always, like I said, been a lover girl, and I love love, but I didn't have my first boyfriend until I was 24 years old. Wow. And I knew I wanted to have a family, like being a mother is my biggest desire, but I kept choosing the nomadic lifestyle, which I think can work, of course, but it just wasn't suiting what I was actually looking for. So the intention got bigger and bigger after my first boyfriend. That ended, and then I was in Bali for 2 years, and I met another amazing man, but it just wasn't a fit. Like, we both really liked each other, and he's so incredible, but it just wasn't, I just knew in my body it wasn't fully him. And so after that, I went on a whole healing journey of like deep grief of going through that. And in the back of my mind, I've always felt that Europe is where I want to land. It's where I want to have kids. It's like just everything here makes sense. And I was doing a program called Soft Girl Season. So it was a group program, and it was all about softening into your feminine and being just wildly magnetic. So like every day feels like your birthday, just getting blessed on bless. And while I was running that, I decided to go to a retreat in Spain with my favorite mentor, Rachel Pringle. And it was a women's retreat. And so while I was there, I was glowing, radiating. And because I was also teaching this program, which was all about like just being super soft and receiving providership, blessings were coming in left and right. And so after that retreat, I just felt this nudge to post on this Facebook group, which I've never posted in before, for travelers. There's like 2 million people in it. And I made a post like, just a little girl, you know, going to Spain and Portugal. Does anyone have recommendations? And all of a sudden, I'm like flooded with hundreds of weirdos messaging me. Like, imagine, you know, men that look like a little questionable, you know, and a little creepy. Yeah, the Facebook men. And I stopped and I was like, all right, this was not the intention here, but here we are. Yeah. And then I checked my Instagram DMs, and there's this quite an attractive man that messaged me, and I was like, okay. But I checked out his profile and I was still like, I don't know, you know, like you can never really tell, especially a man's Instagram. I mean, it's always questionable. And
that's pictures.
Yeah, pictures. And I just couldn't tell his vibe. I'm like, he's cute, but is he a nice guy? Is he just a fuckboy? You know, like it was giving questionable energy. But then I looked through his things and he had this one story with kids, like playing with kids. And I was like, you're pulling up the mom in me that wants to find a father. So for my children. And so I messaged him and he was really kind, casual. He wasn't like any of these weirdos that were like trying so hard, like texting me to like fly me out and just being so weird, you know? And so we started talking, and I was in Ibiza with 2 of my girlfriends. We were just having so much fun, dancing every day, you know, just living free. And then we just kept communicating. He was so nice, like so thoughtful, giving me all these really like detailed recommendations and asking such deep questions. And I was like, this guy's got some depth, you know? And so I was really curious with him, but simultaneously while I was in Spain, I was interacting with some very attractive men. And on my way to Portugal, I had friends that lived in northern Portugal. While I was at the airport, I missed my flight because the airport system is so different in Europe, where it doesn't tell you the gate until like 10 minutes before.
Yes.
So
especially in Lisbon.
Yeah. No, but this was in Ibiza. So I missed my flight, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like praying, and I'm like sitting under the board now. So everyone's like walking and I just don't care. My eyes are closed. And then I open my eyes, and next to me, this guy is like, hey, are you meditating? And I was like, yeah, I just missed my flight. He's like, I just missed my flight. And I was like, no way. And he's like, yeah, where were we supposed to go? We were talking for a second. He's like, so do you want to go to Paris? I was like, what? What? And he said, yeah, I will fly you out and pay for everything. And I was like, wait, what is happening right now? Like, I need a minute.
This random dude.
Yeah, random guy. And he wasn't joking. He like pulled up his phone, like, I really will. If you want to come with me, I can show you around. And I was just so caught off guard. I'm like, this is exciting, but also, what? And so this is like the energy of soft girl season, you know, just like random blessings. And I said, I like sat with it, and like he went and got me lunch, and then I came back and was like, no, I'm not gonna go with you. He's like, okay, well, just message me anytime you're in Europe, I'll fly you out and like take care of you. And I was like, okay. Wow. So random. So then I stayed, and then this other man who I like just missed meeting because I was on a flight, he had just landed, and he's like, do you want me to come pick you up since you missed your flight? And I was like, it's another really attractive man that we had been talking.
Oh, you had been talking to this
one.
Okay.
But I was going to miss him because I was leaving that day, but now I rebooked the flight and it had to be for the next day. So he came and picked me up, and we just had like the best time. He took me on an adventure, and my other girlfriend was there, and he picked us both up, and I don't know, it was a crazy wild of events. And then so the next day I fly back out to Portugal, and meanwhile I'm still texting this one man that's Portuguese. And finally I was like, all right, go ahead.
The one that's Portuguese. Which one was he?
Haven't met him yet.
Was it?
Wait, you were messaging. This was the one you were messaging on Facebook.
Yes, the Portuguese. Yeah, the Portuguese.
So the one in the airport, was he French?
He was. I know. Sorry.
So many guys. Where did you find him? Never asked us, right?
Hold on. I gotta get the story straight.
So there's a French guy who was flying me out, sitting right next to me. Then there was a Spanish guy who was flying from Barcelona, who just got to Ibiza. And I was in Barcelona at the retreat before. So when I was in Ibiza, that man, we like spent the day together. But after, I was like, okay, I'm going to Portugal. Okay. So now I'm in Portugal, and I'm with 2 of my like best friends. They're married. And I was still talking to the Portuguese man. Okay. And then he's like, so when are you coming to Lisbon? And I was like, all right, I think it's time. Like, I go meet this guy. We've been talking for a month, and he's really nice and cute. And so I go down to Portugal, and one of my gay besties flies in from Hawaii. And then I had another gay friend, and I was like, you boys are coming with me. Let's vet this man out. This Facebook man. And so we go out to dinner, and he is so attractive and was just so charming. And I call him my Portuguese Prince Charming. He's so sweet. And he was really nervous. So I was like, we'll see, you know, but also fair enough.
I mean,
like
yeah,
exactly. Like I wasn't
like,
really giving him, you know,
an interview.
Yeah, I gave him an interview. So I was like, if you're going to be with me. And then the dinner went really well, but I was still like, I was really quiet. And especially because one of my gay friends, he's just like a yapper. And so I was like letting them lead and like vet him. And afterwards I was like, okay, like I won't go on a date with this guy. And so 2 days later, he asked me on a first date. And it was like he was interviewing me to be his wife. And it was everything he was saying. I was like, how do you know this? You know, like, how do you know all these answers? Because this is exactly what I've been looking for. And then same with me. He was like, wait, are you lying? Like, everything you're saying is exactly what I'm looking for. And then he was describing how he had a marketing agency called Love. And I'm like, all right, you just saw my Instagram.
Love?
Yeah, in Portuguese, called Love translated. And I was like, you just looked at my Instagram and are just filling me up with what I want to hear, you know? Like, I just couldn't believe that this man was real. It turns out everything he said was real. And yeah, the date ended up being 8 hours, and one of my friends was sick, and so he's like, oh, let's go to the pharmacy, and he like got him things to like make him feel better and dropped it off.
8 hours, just to preface that
yeah,
you know it's good.
Yeah, that's what he knows good. The date was 8 hours, and then he even like got my sick friend things and dropped it off. And then good man from the beginning. So I'm just like, how is this guy real? And then he says he loves dancing, and I'm like, listen, like that is one of my top qualities. He's like
getting better.
Yeah, he keeps getting better. I'm like, and I'm so tired. Like, I'm a grandma. I like to go to bed at 10, 11, and it's already midnight. And he's like, well, if you want to go, I'm gonna go dancing.
Kind of dancing?
Just at a club, like, and I like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like hip hop music and like and Afro beats and stuff.
Oh
And
my
he
God,
said that
same.
he likes that too. So
Party.
yeah, he's like, so I'm like sitting there and it's midnight. And I'm like, do I keep going out with this guy? But I have to see if he can actually dance, because if this man can dance, like, I don't know what else more I could want.
Question. So when you're here at this time, are you here just visiting, or were you here for a long
Just
period
visiting,
of time?
yeah.
How long?
Did
you have a set time? Or
Yeah, I
you
was
just
in
here?
Portugal for 3 more days, and then we were going to, with my gay bestie, I was going to Germany, Madrid, and then flying to Hawaii.
Okay, so it was a limited amount of time that you were here. Okay,
limited amount of time. So that's why I was like, I don't know. I'm like, fine. Like, if this man is all this and can dance, like, I have to see if he's just lying or telling me the truth. So we go dancing, and it was like we were in our own little world. Like, no one else existed in the whole wide world. And he had such good rhythm, and we were just having the time of our lives. And I was in a little bubble of heaven. Yeah. And then we even had like someone come to us like, oh, how long have you guys been together? Like, you guys look so good. Like, wow, your vibe. I'm like, we just met. It was crazy. So then finally he drops me off, and it's like 2 a.m. and we have our first kiss, and it was just
after
so
all
memorable.
of that.
Yeah. After all of that. And so I go upstairs, and I just lay there. I'm like, what just happened? Did I just meet the love of my life? Like, wait, it can't be. And I'm just like going through all these things in my head, like, oh my God, this is my dream man.
That easy, right?
Yeah, like, but also like, this is what I've been teaching these women in this program, like how easy it is once you're actually out of survival and you're soft and in your feminine energy and you're truly open, like how these men really just start coming in. Yeah. And I've been wanting a man like this for so long. Like, I know the kind of man I want. So then the next day we like met again and with my friend, and it was just like, I couldn't get enough of him. And I felt it in my body the third day that I met him, like, this is my husband. So clearly that it freaked me out. I actually had to like walk away for a second. We were all at dinner and like got up and I went outside, and I'm like freaking out of goodness that I'm like, also, I don't want to hear this so soon. Like, I don't want to get in my head, you know. But also it was just so deep, like the deepest inner knowing.
Yeah.
I just felt it. And the way he was looking at me, like, that man's eyes and hands were never off of me. Like, he was just like, I was the only thing that existed in the whole wide world. And I'm so attracted to him too, which my last 2 boyfriends, I wasn't that attracted. I was more like, okay, maybe I should just settle because they're, you know, they're really nice guys and match me in all these ways. But like, no, this man, I'm like, I'm attracted to you. You got everything.
Yeah.
You're like, you're my dream man. And so after I had one more day with him, and he's like, would you want to move to Portugal?
What?
And I was like, well, actually, I was planning, like, so when I landed in Spain, I was like, I'm moving to Spain. I felt it. I'm like, I'm moving to Europe. I'm ready. Now's the time. And then when he said that, I was like, I was actually thinking of moving to Spain. So, I mean, Portugal, I could do that too.
Not that far.
Yeah,
so
like,
why not?
I guess I could come here. And he's like, all right, well, I'll be here. I'm not going to pressure you. If, like, this feels good to you, you know where I am. The rest is up to you. And I'm like, first off, I want you to beg for me to come, but you know, like, also that's so hot that you're actually making me make this choice. And like, and so I'm like, okay. I was so sad leaving him, and he kept just like reassuring me, like, I'll always be in your heart, and I'm not going anywhere, and blah blah blah. But I have an abandonment wound, so and I've had so many fun flings been after being a nomad for 8 years. So I'm like, is this just gonna be another like week-long romance where it doesn't actually continue? So I kept that in my heart, and then I went to Germany, and then I ended up, we were still talking, and so I was like, you know what, I'm going to spend my last 3 days in Europe with him. So I canceled the rest of my plans, went back, we spent 3 days together, just us, like my friend wasn't there. We didn't even like really leave the house. We were just in a little love bubble, like cuddling and laughing, getting to know each other, and he was just so sweet and romantic with all these little gestures, and just such a genuine man, like, and also a really masculine man, which I feel like being in his presence, like, it made me like squirmy and intimidated me, but also is like so comforting.
Brothers?
Sadly, no.
Who taught him this stuff? Like, did he do some work on himself?
Yes,
it sounds like he did work
he's
on
definitely,
himself.
he is come from, his story is incredible. Like, he really raised himself basically, like, and has been through so much, and has he's created himself through his testimony. But anyways, so after that I left, and he was like, all right, like, I'm here. And so I go back to Hawaii, and I'm freaking out. I'm like calling my girlfriends, like, I think I met the love of my life. Like, you guys, what do I do? And I posted on my stories, like, so would you move for love? And everyone's like, do it. And I already knew, like, I'm a lover girl. Like, I would do that. You know, I have no problem taking the risk. And so I already felt like it was a yes in my body. And I needed to, what I teach all my women is you have to use discernment over a period of time. So I waited a month to see if this man stayed consistent, if he stayed pursuing me, if he stayed interested, if he stayed following up with me, like how present he was. And the hard part is this man doesn't like texting. He doesn't like phones. So we didn't get that much communication, which was also so hard for me, because I'm like, how am I supposed to make this huge choice when we're barely communicating? But again, that inner knowing was so loud, and he did still message me. We still talked every single day. It was just like very little. And finally, after a month, I was like, all right, I'm doing it. And I texted him, and 3 weeks later, I moved to Portugal.
No way.
Yeah. 1 year ago today, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he's my husband. So we don't have the ring yet, but I'm sure it's coming soon. So
And is he from Lisbon?
Yeah, so he's from Lisbon. His roots are African from both his parents, but he was born here and loves Lisbon. He's like a diehard fan of Lisbon. And yeah, found my
Beautiful.
Portuguese.
When did you guys meet for the first time? Was it now 1 year ago, or was
like a year and 2 months ago.
2 months? Okay.
Wow.
So after 4 days of meeting him, I decided to move here. Yeah, basically. Yeah. It was crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful story, though.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it is.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. It's a dream come true. So.
Okay, well, while you've been here in Lisbon for a year now, like, what do you think of Lisbon? Because it wasn't like a place where you were actually thinking of moving.
That was the other funny part is I remember coming here, my first ever solo trip, maybe 8 years ago.
Okay.
I was to Portugal to visit a friend that was like in a windsurfing camp, and I remember feeling like I didn't like it. I was like, I don't like Portugal, which was so funny because everywhere I traveled after that, everyone's like, I love Portugal, 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 Portugal. It was always in my, and I was like, I didn't have that experience. But then, like, coming back this time, I realized that was my first solo trip, and I was so intimidated. I was so shy. I, like, didn't know how to talk to people. That trip wasn't fun because the version of me that was traveling at that time, but I had the story before that was just like, no, it was Portugal. But until I came...
Sounds similar to her that she was thinking it was...
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when you said that, because I moved places a lot, like in Lisbon with Airbnbs and stuff, and it was like super chaotic. And then I was like, oh, Lisbon is not the place for me, but it's just the experience that you had at that moment, and it's not the city that is not fitting you.
Exactly, yeah. So when I came back this time, I was like, oh no, I love the architecture and the culture, and everybody kept saying this. Plus, honestly, like, love is a big enough pool for me. So
yeah, clearly.
And clearly. And I also knew, and it's Europe, which again, I like the big picture I knew, and like I am connected with God. I always, like, God guided me to Europe, but Portugal I didn't know. But I kept hearing, like I said, from everybody that they loved it here. So I'm like, I'm gonna fall in love with this place, especially since I fall in love with a Portuguese man who only wants to be in Portugal. So I gotta figure this out. And so since I've been here, I still don't feel that, like, wow, Portugal is the most amazing place on earth yet. But I do feel like I'm so grateful to keep falling in love with it, and he keeps taking me on adventures, and like shows me these different areas, and it's such a cool and amazing country, plus all the expats, which makes it really nice to be able to connect, even though I still haven't learned the language yet, which I need to do. I'm guilty. But the food, there's so many elements, and again, just like walking around and seeing the city, and I love that it's a slow city. So yeah, I'm slowly falling in love with it. But I've also lived in the tropics for the past 5 years. Hawaii, Bali, Thailand. I've been in warm places. I went to school in Arizona, so I always thought I would end up in a warm place. I was in SoCal, so being here, I was like, what? I'm gonna have rain again? I don't know. I want rain again.
Meanwhile, I moved here for the sun.
Yeah.
Everything in its perspective,
right? But now
Bali has a lot of rain.
It does.
It's warm.
And it's
rain,
humid.
It's warm. Yeah, it's different. And I grew up in Seattle, so like I'm used to it. But now it's so funny. Like fast forward a year, and I'm like so excited for the fall and the winter, and we have our little fireplace. And I'm just like I was waiting for the rain this summer, which was so weird. So
me too.
Yeah,
even me.
How was it for you? Well, you came here exactly the same time I did.
Yeah.
And apparently during that time, all the rain, it's the worst rain that they've ever gotten.
Yeah.
And I'm from California where it never rains. So, but it didn't really bother me that much, which was actually quite strange.
Yeah. I wasn't too bothered either. I just didn't have an umbrella or a rain jacket at first. So just like the basic things. But it just made it like so cozy, Yeah.
Well, you had someone to cozy up with.
Yeah, I was like, all the cuddles.
So.
Yeah. And he's a snuggler, so we just cuddle. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But we spoke already about what you like about Lisbon, but is there also something that you don't like, or like I don't get used to it that much because it's so different?
Since I've lived so many places, I feel like there's nothing that's like I'm used to different. I feel like now that's like my comfort is having new things. I would say, is there anything I don't like?
Besides the rain?
Yeah. No, but I'm starting to like the rain. The slippery tiles. I don't like that. And that you can't wear any sort of heels and your shoes, like that is a little sad,
I don't think I've worn heels since I've got.
I haven't worn heels.
They are like getting dusty in my closet.
Yeah,
I miss my heels.
You at least have to wear like the really thick ones here.
Yeah,
even that is dangerous. Yeah, especially when it's slippery, like when it's rainy. Yeah. So I don't like that. Yeah, and
I miss my heels.
You have to be careful with that. But I feel like there's nothing in particular that it's like I don't like. I guess it is also just different. Like I have all my little stores we go to in the neighborhood. Like I have a butcher and a little tailor and all these different shops for different things. So instead of like a universal like Target, you know, the convenience of that. But it's also nice to like have these neighborhood friends and all the little shops. So
Well, let's dive into that with your neighborhood friends.
Yeah.
Like, how has it been for you building a community for yourself?
That's been slow. So one, I've been just in a little love bubble. So that's been different because usually I've always solo traveled. So I've like been forced to make friends and to get out there. But now that I have my man, I'm really comfortable, and he has his friend group, but actually a lot of his friends don't speak English. So that's a hard thing, not hard, but it's like uncomfortable for him because he has to translate the whole time, or I just don't come because I'm like, I don't want you to have to do that, you know, or I'll go and I'm just sitting there trying to interpret what's happening.
Do you feel like because you're in a relationship that you aren't as active as like going out to meet?
Yes, definitely. And I'm a very historically social person, and I used to be known as like the human connector. Like I'm always bringing people together, and I used to host a lot of in-person events and women's circles. I was actually hosting some women's circles here called For the Love of Men, which were all about teaching women how to like change their relationship with men.
We should go there.
Yeah. it's so good.
I want to know more about this magnetic, because that's like,
yes.
I feel like what you're talking about is like very in alignment with like where I am and like just spiritual type of stuff.
Yes.
But go ahead. Finish your
okay. Yeah. So I would say usually I'd be more prioritizing that like to an extreme, but now I'm really more focused on just the quality, like having a small, really quality group of friends. But I still go like make myself do something every month. Like I'll go to a networking event or a fun, I don't know, all sorts of, there's always things happening here, which I love about this city. So I'm going to a booty class on, you know,
a
booty workout. It's called Booty Call.
Oh.
It's
booty
like,
class,
booty class, booty popping. So
there's something new.
there's exactly like I'm doing that to see if I can meet people. And I'm also going to this dinner series my friend just started hosting. And so I am searching, but I wouldn't say that I've like effortlessly found like my people, like my like besties like back home. I haven't found anyone that matches that vibe yet, but I fully am in trust, and I found a couple great friends. The problem is I found 2 really great friends, but they're both not here, so it's a little bit of a transient place here. So I'm looking like at something else. Like, it's not that I won't be friends with you if you're not staying, but I am looking for women who are rooted here. Yeah.
I have a question for you. Because you've traveled so much, was it easy for you to make close friends, or was it mostly like transient friends?
No, I have really deep friendships. I can only go deep, I feel like. So like when I connect with someone, we stay connected. However, if you live a nomadic life, you know, like I have friends all over the world, but I don't get to see them that much. And we connect online, but it doesn't take away from how deep our friendships are. And like we can call each other for anything and we'll always be there. But I really miss a lot of my friends because my friends all over, and a lot of my friends have never even met, which is like they've heard about each other for years, you know. So once my wedding comes, they'll all get to meet. But so now that's why I'm like so happy to be grounded. My body and my soul, everything has needed this. So to like build a friend group that's gonna be here in one place is gonna be nice again.
It will take time.
Exactly. I'm not in a rush, and again it's a natural process, especially when we're older, you know.
Absolutely. Because you get more picky because you know what you want and what you don't like. It's
people, like dating with friends. It's the same.
Yeah, but it's really good that you're also going to these events, because I feel like that's the way to meet people. It's just to find like-minded people, but sometimes it's a bit hard to stay in touch because you meet so many people, and it's like there has to be like a specific connection, and if that's missing, then it's just nice for the day, but they don't really stay in touch.
To nurture
I feel like
it.
that's the hardest part.
The nurturing the bonds. Exactly. And then we're all, you know. It takes work, and it does. It is like dating and finding friends.
It is. Oh, I'm also curious about this one. Have you noticed any cultural habits that surprised you here in Portugal? Something that's like...
Yes.
Of course, because you're from the States. So.
Everybody's late, and it drives me crazy sometimes. There's like, they have no concept of time here, and I feel like people in general are just like a lot slower, or they take their time, or they're not rushed, or even when you're like getting a service, they can be like super late or take a week, versus in America be like, we're getting it done in a day. So like adjusting to that, even my partner, he doesn't mind being late. And like my dad installed in me, if you're 5 minutes early, then you're on time. And if you're on time, you're late. So although I'm not always not late, but
Guess who was late today?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was late today. So now I'm becoming Portuguese apparently. But
you are.
That is
because of your Portuguese.
That is something that has been an adjustment though for I would say like more like service-based things, especially, you know, when I'm getting something done.
Yeah, true.
Also, I just find it funny like how all the grannies like hang out the windows and gossip with each other. Like
They do here. We see.
They're always just like yapping, like judging everybody out the window, and I think it's cute. Yeah,
it's a vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
You don't need security cameras.
Yeah.
You have the grannies.
Yeah, it's a total
granny
judgment
cams.
vibe too.
Oh, it's all judgment. Yeah. You can feel it. Yeah.
But they don't say it, so in your face.
No, they don't. Yeah.
And they probably don't speak English, so they're
exactly.
But they speak to each other.
Yeah,
probably.
that's true. Yes.
All right, let's go next one. Okay. Do you feel like you've adapted to the life in Lisbon, or do you feel like you're still a little bit of an outsider? I kind of feel like you touched on it a little bit because...
Yeah, I feel like I've adapted, and I've really just been like so homey and cozy, and like I said, I have my routines of like what stores we go to every week to like grab the things we need for our house, and we have a palace by our house I always like to walk to, and so I feel like I've really adjusted to the lifestyle here. I'm still understanding it, you know, all the cultural things, but it's been pretty easy again because I have a Portuguese partner, so it's just kind of like been wrapped into his life.
How do you feel like, because I know where you live, I was told.
Yeah.
It's a quieter neighborhood. How was that for you adjusting to?
That was hard because it's so quiet and it's just old people over there, and there's not as many tourists. I mean, if you walk down to Belém, then there's like a bunch down there, but so it's not like you walk out and really see people your age. But I also kind of like having the quiet because we can have our windows open all the time and it's just quiet, which I love for my home environment. So it's a
very traditional neighborhood.
It is
and I just recently visited just like last week.
Yeah, we were there last week.
Yeah. There's like I walked around the whole neighborhood and I was like, oh, this neighborhood is cute. It's very quiet.
It is very quiet. But there's so many like historic buildings and monuments, and then there's really cute cafes. There's a few like all pink cafes and like little gems there. So I'm lucky to have everything I need is there, but everyone I want to see or anything I want to do, it's over in like the main part of Lisbon. But I do like having the quiet area, and and we're not too far from Monsanto, which is so beautiful.
Do you know, I just recently found this little, you already know, actually Bella led me to it. There's like a little lake with like the ducks. If you go at the very top of Monsanto from
I don't know if maybe.
It's like, okay, well, if you, I don't want to tell everybody where you live, but
you're exposing her now.
But we were just walking up the main street and we got to the top, and then there was Monsanto, and we saw some people walking with their dogs. So Bella was like, let's go this way. So I was like, okay. And then I look on the map and I see like this huge like garden area, and it has like this huge lake with ducks, and it's really cute.
We should go. My partner is obsessed with ducks, so he will love it. I've never seen a man that loves ducks so much in my life. So I need to check it out.
It's hidden.
Yeah, there's so many cool ponds and ducks. There's even like a river that way a little bit. There's so many nice parks that we've been to. So we're definitely around that, which I really like. And I just don't like super hilly over there. So if I like do my hot girl walks, but it's kind of hard when there's so many hills there. So
that's true.
It's not the same, but it's okay.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
Oh, hi.
I was feeling like a paw in my butt.
You heard your name. Oh, she's so sweet.
All right, next one.
It's you.
Yeah. How do you see your future in Lisbon, and would you still see yourself living in Portugal if it wasn't for the relationship?
I see myself having babies here, so that's my future, is really rooting and having a family. We're looking at land, and we're going to build our dream house, which is just crazy to think about. So
is it going to be here, or?
It'll be a little out, like in the countryside.
Okay.
Yeah, so not too far, maybe an hour max, but that's our goal. So that's what I see for my future. If not, I don't know. I
That's the goal.
Yeah.
No, she was saying she doesn't know if she would be
here.
If you would be
here.
If
I didn't meet my Prince Charming, I don't know if I would be here. Yeah. I was thinking about Spain. I didn't know. I never felt anywhere that was like, this is home. Actually, I really loved Australia. I'd say that would be the closest place that I felt to that, but I couldn't get a long-term visa. But I was really more just focused on like where, one, my man would be, and two, like the community can make anywhere home. And as long as there's nice nature and like sunshine, that was kind of like my requirements. But otherwise I was just like, it's up to you, God. So yeah. I was open.
Yeah, that's good.
But now I'm excited to, like I said, like really fall in love with this country. And the more he shows me, I'm like, okay, this is a pretty cool place. Yeah.
And I also feel like, I'm not saying all, but Portuguese people, they want to stay in Portugal, right?
They're so obsessed with their country. It's insane. But that's the other thing that's helped me is everyone I meet is like, I love Portugal. So I'm like, okay, like let me get on that. But seriously, everybody like when you tell them you're here, they're like, I love Portugal, and people that live here love living here. So I'm like, let me get that vibe more. Yeah. But I do love living here. But like I said, it's very different than anywhere I've ever lived before. So
yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Well, can you give any advice to someone who possibly would move abroad for love? Can you give some advice?
Yeah. So moving abroad for love, be careful. You have to know that it's a risk no matter what, that if you're going to love in general is a risk, whether you're moving or not. So moving just adds a whole nother element of the risk, because especially I was just coaching one of my clients yesterday. She actually likes this guy, like really likes him. And now she's like, I'm freaking out. This is the scariest thing ever. And I'm like, yeah, it's a whole different thing when you like the man versus like a guy that you actually don't see a long-term future with, because your heart is on the line. Yeah. So it's a risk. And again, it's just a double risk when you're moving for love. And to ensure that you're not going to get hurt, like I said, it's like vetting out the process of seeing how he shows up over a period of time, and if his actions match his words. And also, for me, I'm really connected with God, so like praying on it and feeling into like, how does your body feel? Like, I was lucky to have a very deep inner knowing, so you might feel that, but if you don't, then just keep praying and asking for clarity and listening to what the answer is, because often we try to push against what we want versus what is actually being shown to us. So trusting that, like, if you're feeling called to not do that, then listen to that. And if you do go, also you have to be open to the fact that it might not work out. So like, don't be so attached to that man, which is what my man made me do too. He's like, I need you to want to come to Portugal, not just for me. And I was like, I do, but it's mostly for you. But he did tell me that. But I did know, like, I was 100% okay with the fact that if it didn't work out, I'm okay with it. So I feel you have to come to terms with the fact that it might end. And another thing that's also true is 100% of the time it's going to end in a relationship, whether it's through death or through a breakup. Like, endings are a thing. And so that's also why I always help my clients feel grief, because it's part of the process. So as long as you're comfortable with all of that, and you vet him to see over a period of time and see how he's, I like to call it courtship, like how he's actually trying to win you over. What is he doing to make you his woman? Like, I also only help marriage-minded women, so women that want to be a wife. So it's like, is he actually giving you the steps, taking the steps to do that? Do you guys have an aligned future, shared goals? Like, are you just conforming yourself to be who you think he wants you to be? Are you being your authentic self? Like, what version of yourself is coming through with him? Also, it's a little bit more nuanced than that, because our nervous system, sometimes we people please and we do all these other things just as a survival pattern, but that's a whole nother topic. But love is so complex. But yeah, any other questions like around that?
Well, yeah, not a question, but I think also because you moved already so much and you've lived in so many different places.
I was literally saying that in my head.
Then, yeah, I was thinking the same when you answered that question before. Yeah, so I also feel like you would be fine anyway, because you've done so much already on your own. So this is not, yeah, of course it's scary, but I mean, you'll be fine.
That's how I felt. That's why I was like, I know I can do this because I've done it so many times. And I also, trauma. I grew up with an only child. I was an only child. I grew up with a single dad at the age of 5. So like I know independence. I was Miss Independent. So like knowing that I've got myself and also that God's got me, it's like I can take these big leaps of faith, and love again itself is a leap of faith. So to take that extra long leap with this move across the world, because I was in Hawaii at the time, it was big, and I knew that I could do it because of I've done so much. I use a lot of somatic work, so being with my body and regulating my nervous system, that taking that risk is, I knew I'm going to be supported when it was something that was like really pulling me, and not just it wasn't like an unintentional choice. It was a very intentional, very like my heart was like, you gotta go follow this, because you'll regret it if you don't at least see what happens, So yeah, I think it's also really beautiful that in a way you said like you grew up very independent, and I think it's so beautiful that you're now entering like the softer side, because I feel like that's so hard.
Yeah, when you're
especially for women
in your independent phase, you're in your very masculine energy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was a super masculine woman because I had to be so independent. I had to take care of myself. Like if it wasn't for me, my dad was there. I love my dad, and he wasn't as present as he could be, and I just like I had to figure things out. So that's now why I teach women the Soft Girl Season is one of my programs of like teaching women how to not just soften, like look pretty and cute, but like in your body feel what peace feels like, even when there's a storm happening, even when everything's going wrong, even when he doesn't text you back, like when all these things are happening, how to keep that posture of softness. It's such a skill for women, especially because we've been trained because of patriarchy to be in our masculine, to either not feel because we're too emotional or we don't know how to feel, and like there's all these factors going against us. So to be a woman that is actually feminine and truly soft is a skill that you have to actually work towards. It doesn't just happen naturally for most women. I haven't worked with a single woman that was just like came second nature just to be soft, because it has, in order to soften, you have to be protected and you have to feel safe. And most of us don't have that safety. So it's a skill to gain that internal safety, and that's another thing that I help most women with, is the safety has to come from yourself first and not just a man. Like my man is so safe and he's the ultimate protector, and like again super masculine, but once I found that safety within me first and being able to take these leaps of traveling and do these big things, that's when I found a man that also embodied that amount of safety, instead of me being dependent from a place of if he's not safe, then I'm not safe,
Yeah, and you were just attracting what you already embodied.
Exactly, yeah, after lots of work, but
it's not easy.
It's worth it. It's worth all of it, of course,
Okay, well, do you want to plug your business or what?
Oh, okay, yeah. So my business is Alive to Enjoy, and it's all about helping women it's all about lover girls, romantic women, creating a love that just keeps getting better and better, and a love that feels like home, where you can just be your full self, but also it's playful and passionate and just endless romance is the vibe. And I do one-to-one work mostly through my Forever Chosen program, which is a 6-month journey where we go deep into your body and to actually making your dreams a reality in your love life. Now that's whether you're dating to marry, or you're in a partnership and waiting for the ring, or you're already married, taking it to so you become like the most loved woman on earth. It's like wherever phase you're at, we just do the work, and it's so much simpler than you think. And that's my favorite part, is like how quickly women start to transform when we are working at the body level. So I do one-to-one work. I also have the Soft Girl Season group program, which I'll be launching again next year. And just follow me online.
How did you get into all of this? Like, what made you want to start this?
So I went to college for psychology and sociology, so I always loved people. And when I first started coaching, it happened so randomly when I was in Australia. I had a roommate at this holistic health retreat, and she told me she does life coaching. And I looked at her and I'm like, she was explaining what it was. And I was like, I do that for free every day with my friends. Like, what do you mean you get paid for that? You joking me? And she was like, there's no regulations around it either. True. So I was like, she's like, just start your business. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, I can't do that. And then I go home, I'm like, okay, I have to, and I can. So I started it, and I first started with people pleasing, was like and confidence was what I was focusing on. But then every time, I was always a lover girl, but I felt like I couldn't teach about love when I hadn't even been in a relationship at that point. Like I still never been in love, even though I always wanted love. And then I was in a relationship and it was not the greatest. He was a friend for like 7 years. And anyways, that didn't work out, but he's still a great guy. And then I kept coaching and I kept feeling the calling, like I want to focus on love, And finally I just took the leap. I'm like, all right, I'm going to be a relationship mentor. And once I did that, I just like deep dived into everything about love. And then I dated another amazing man. And what our biggest thing was with him is I kept emasculating him, which I couldn't understand how I was emasculating him when I was a woman who only had guy friends growing up. Like I just loved guys. I thought girls were full of drama and annoying and like they were just too much. And so I always had a bunch of guy friends. I got along with so many guys, but then I didn't understand that being in relationship with a man is a different thing, and also how to actually respect a man and understand a man is a totally different realm that most women don't understand. So then with his, relationships are your biggest mirror. So with his mirror reflecting to me that like you are disrespecting me, I'm like, what? So then I started to learn all about that, and now I'm just so passionate about teaching women how to love men, because most men are in this world and they've never been truly seen and truly known and truly respected, which is like that's equivalent to like us feeling adored and loved and cherished. So yeah, it just fascinated me like through my own journey. And then once I learned about it, just seeing like how every woman, just watching the women and watching all my clients, how they don't understand men, and we're constantly trying to treat them like a woman and expect them to show up like a woman, and we're wondering why we hate men and why men suck. And it's like, no, we're not seeing them. We don't know how to invite the best part of them out. So like now that's my work, is like inspiring your man. And it's so easy, like the soft girl season, it's like the energy you be in, it immediately brings out a whole different version of a man. And when you can learn how to respect a man, it's like he becomes this, he treats you like a princess, like a queen. Like it just is, that's their natural ability, is to be a provider and to take, like men live to make their woman happy. And it's so precious and sweet that they truly, that's all they want. So but most women haven't been able to experience that. So I just fell in love with the process of like, I love love. And I also know that love has been shown to be like this thing where it's like you commit and it's like, oh, marriage gets boring. And it's just like this, like, we all have horrible stories around love or seen horrible things around love. And I'm like, the love that I've always known in my heart is a love that is just supposed to be just this expansive field that has no depth. Like love can continue to get better, but we've just not had the skill. So
I think it's actually really good that you are actually doing this right now, especially in the season that we are in right now when it comes to men, relationships. It's like, it is very like negative, I feel like, in this sense, but it's like everyone is just like, I think exhausted.
Yes. Yeah, we're all exhausted.
So I think it's good. This is like the perfect time for you to,
this is what we need.
To be like, have like we can actually see like a positive view of it as opposed to just like
all the negative. Yeah, there's so much rhetoric in the movies, in the books, and most podcast episodes. Like we are echo chambers in womanhood. Like when you call your girlfriends, we're always just like bashing men. It's the vibe, right? It's all we know. It's just our go-to is to blame men and project. And I'm like, girl, that's not gonna get you what you want. So, and I realized that from my own life. I'm like, I know I don't want that. I see girls out there with good men. Like it can't just be men. Like it's got to be me. So my work is rooted in self-responsibility, because we can't ever change someone else. So when you change yourself, you can you start attracting different men. And I just think that it's so important, because we're not meant to be against each other. Like that's not what the world is about, is just to like always be against each other. That's what the Matrix wants for us, right? It's like separation is just embedded in our culture when we're supposed to be connected, and intimacy is so beautiful. And so I'm really passionate about helping people see that better.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Wow. Well, this was amazing. I mean, I learned so much about, it actually helps me to look at relationships in a different way a little bit, like so I think that's good. It's always good to see a positive view of something.
And I also be very vulnerable, as always. It's not easy. Like my man and I, he's my dream man, I'm his dream woman, and to build a healthy relationship requires so much patience, so many hard conversations, so much stretchiness of like seeing the worst in him and the worst in me and still loving somebody through that. Like that skill is not for the faint of heart. So like to create this kind of love isn't just like you find him and it's easy breezy cover girl. Like it is, whoa. Woo, let me tell you, this man and I have been through it all, and our love just keeps getting better. Through every moment of conflict, we find deeper intimacy. So yeah, I just want to add that in there because like even in a good relationship,
every relationship takes work.
It definitely does, but it keeps getting easier, and it's like then
that's when you know you're going the right way.
Exactly.
If it's getting harder, you're like,
yeah, exactly. But sometimes I have to learn new skills because you think that like it's getting harder because it's him, but then I'm like, oh no, I like when I self-dissect,
you always
it's like
have to go to yourself.
Yeah, first. You realize what else is there. But
everyone is just a mirror.
Everyone's a mirror, and I am just so passionate about I just want to pass down as little horrible things to my children as possible. So like the more that him and I can do together, it's like that's what we want to do before we create an environment for a kid.
That's what everybody should do.
Yeah, that's why I have my business, because it starts at the relationship. Like that's how you birth a baby, right? And so like from there, that's the energy you're creating a human. So it's like when we can, it's the root of like the love is how we can change this world, I think. So yeah.
Very true. Wow, you guys.
We learned some things today.
I know, that was amazing. Well, I just want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for, coming on, and this has been great.
Thank you guys so much.
And thank you guys for joining us, and we will be putting Lexy's details in the description so you can check out her information.
And please ask me any questions. I love everything about traveling. I'm very experienced in that and about love.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you guys in the next one. And this is From Lisbon with Love.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for spending this time with us.
And for listening to our stories, our laughs, and a few of our growing pains.
If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs a little Lisbon love in their life.
And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. It helps more hearts find our little corner of the world. From all of us,
From Lisbon with Love.